Hi there. So, I'm going to be going live shortly, and I have had a number of parties that have been fairly closely clustered together. One of the things that you'll hear me say quite often is don't remove your polish over and over and over again. So, as a result of that, normally in my live, I do show an example of how to remove the polish and then how to reapply the polish. I'm not going to do that in the live tonight. So what I'm going to do is that this is actually a pre-recording, and I'm going to go over how to remove the polish and then how to apply the polish. Then when we go to the live shortly, I'll review it, but then we'll go over some different nail art and things like that. So I'm going to be taking the polish off of these two fingers. I'm going to use two different products. The first one I'm going to use is the Flake Off, and then on the other finger I'm going to use the Gentle Remover Pad. Then I am going to apply, I'm going to show you how to apply the polish on these two fingers. In order to do that, what I've done tonight, because I know I'm going to be doing a complete manicure probably in the next day or two, I have applied this product. It's called Peel Off. I've actually applied it to these two fingers. So what that will allow me to do is put the polish on my nails, leave it there for about 24 hours, and then safely peel the polish off. So this is something I think you should have in your inventory if you're somebody that you're going to order the build your own collection and you decide that you want to try every single color over a 2-week period to see what it looks like. Get this, and you can do it safely. You won't have any problems with your nails. Other than that, we do recommend that you keep your manicures on for 10 to 14 days, not to remove them too often. So I'm going to flip you around, and then we're going to start the process of removing the polish. Okay, so in order to remove the polish, we're going to need our Flake Off, a gentle pad remover, and I'm also using the clips, okay? And you're going to need your nail file. So you'll see on your nail file you have a pink side or a white side depending on which one you got, and you have a gray side. If you have just one coat of polish on your nail, then you take the gray side and you're going to buff it in order to break the seal. I have a couple of coats of polish on this, so I'm going to use the pink side. So I just very gently am going to break the seal by lightly buffing my nail. When I do this, it allows the product to seep through and do the work. We want the product to do the work. We don't want the cuticle pusher to do the work. All right. All right, so we've basically just buffed the shine off of our nail. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the Gentle Care Remover. So you will see on the Gentle Care Remover pad, there's just a little film that you peel off. You can just set that aside. You're going to rip open pad, and you'll see on the inside there is just a little pad that has the product on it. So you want to place your finger inside the pad so that the moist pad is touching your finger, and then you're going to just simply fold it over so that it is pressed against it. The sticky will hold this in place. This is perfectly fine if you want to do that. Some people you could put like a clothespin on it. I choose to use the clips that sell through GelMoment. And so I put that on. And now I'm just going to let that sit there. Now this one's going to have to sit for 8 to 10 minutes. And what I suggest you do is you set your timer and you let it sit there for that length of time, okay? On the second nail, we're going to apply the Flake Off. The Flake Off is a very thick product, okay? So you'll see how thick it is there. And basically, you're just going to dab it on The Flake Off will stay on your finger for 3 to 5 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Flake Off on, then I'm going to do 1 coat of polish on my other 2 nails. Then I'll remove the Flake Off, and then I'll finish my nails, and then I'll remove the gentle pad remover. All right, so that's the Flake Off, and what you're going to see is it's going to actually start to bubble. So this is the entertaining way to take your polish off, and this is the other way to take your polish off. All right, so while that's working, we're going to put the polish on these 2 fingers. So in order to do that, the very first thing we're going to do is roll our polish. You want to roll your polish for 20 to 30 seconds. The reason we roll the polish is because we don't want to get any air bubbles on the brush. If that happens, the air bubbles might transfer to your nail, and as it cures, you'll see little bubbles under your nail polish. And when you have those bubbles, that means that there is a chance that the seal will be broken and your manicure won't last the full 14 days. So anything that we do with our manicure, we're doing with the goal of keeping our manicure going as long as possible. Okay, so that's rolled. Now what I'm going to do is I'm taking the gray side of my file and I'm just lightly buffing, okay, just to take the shine off. So it's just 1, 2, 3 buffs. Then I'm going to take a cleanser pad, trying to do this with just 2 fingers, not in use, but I'll take the cleanser pad, and you're going to clean your nail. You're going to clean under your nail, make sure you clean the side of your nail. Then you'll take the cleanser pad, tuck it back into the pad here, into the envelope. And what I normally do is just take my cuticle pusher, tuck it in there, and that way if I get any paint, any polish on my finger, I can clean it off, okay? So I'm gonna open up my nail polish. The other tip is to use thin coats. It's better to use 2 thin coats rather than 1 thick coat. Okay, so I'm going to roll it to take most of the polish off of my wand. Take most of the polish off of my brush. And then I'm going to start in the center, push down towards my cuticle, and then pull up. Okay, go along the side, and then go along this side. Then we have to do what's called capping. Capping is when you're putting the polish on the tip of your nail. In order to do that, you're going to move the brush so it's pointing away from you, and you're going to just put the polish over the tip that way and then smooth it out. Then I'll go on and do my little finger. That. And again, I'm going to cap and then smooth it out, making sure that you don't have any gobs of polish on your nail. So then you just want to make sure, see, I have a little bit of polish right here. So I'm taking my cuticle pusher and I'm removing that polish, okay? There we go. Now I'm going to put my fingers in flat and cure them. I'm using the professional lamp, which comes with the Premier kit. This comes with the middle kit. It does fit 4 fingers or your foot, and it has a toggle switch to turn on. You will see that I made sure to move my polish away from the lamp. You want to make sure that the polish is not exposed to any UV rays or LED rays. And because if they are exposed, then there is a chance that it could start to cure. So once this is cured, then I will be able to actually touch the polish on my nail. So that it automatically went off, and you can see that that is completely dry. Okay, so now before I put the second layer on, I'm actually, you can see the flake off on that finger, okay? So that I'm now going to take the flat edge of my cuticle pusher and I'm going to just basically pull the polish off my nail. You see how easy it comes off? Okay. And do along the side. You might have to use both ends of the cuticle pusher just to clean close to the cuticles. And if it doesn't all come off the first time, then you just repeat the process. Okay, I'm going to take my cleanser pad and I'm just going to give my finger a quick wipe. Okay. And I am going to put just a little bit more right along the edge of my cuticle. Oh, no, I'll probably be able to get that off. There we go. Okay. So that's basically, like, I'll get those little bits off later on, but that basically shows you how quickly it comes off. Now I'm quickly going to put my pad back in there and put the second coat of Just Between Us on the other two fingers, because you can see how thin that coat was. So the magic comes in the second coat. And if you're not happy with the two coats on your nails, then you put a third coat on. Just make sure that every single coat is nice and thin. Okay, and then I'm going to cap again. Do my little finger. So during the live tonight, I will review this again. I will show it on a nail stick just to show capping. Capping tends to be the biggest problem. I'll show you a couple of different ways that you can cap. Okay, so there. And again, I'm just going to make sure that I clean any polish that I have on my nail or on my cuticle there, and put it back in. And then while that's curing, I'm actually going to take off the pad. Look at that. That's how that came off there. So that is completely off in one. So now that had two thin coats on it. There are some times where my polish will have 4 or 5 coats on it. If I work at keeping my manicure for a couple of weeks, I will very often add a top coat to it, or I'll put some nail art, or I'll put some shimmer or something like that. So if that's the case, I would have had to take the top layer off, put this back on again, and just keep working at it back and forth. Okay, so there we go. That is completely dry, all right? So now what I'm going to do, my routine is, I would normally go and wash my hands using the GelMoment brush, and I would clean them up. I would shape them. I would take my cuticle pusher and push back my cuticles and end the night by putting on some cuticle oil. If I'm going to do a manicure right away, then I would leave the cuticle oil on for about 10 minutes, and then I would start my manicure over again by buffing and cleansing really well. If I'm going to do my manicure the next day, then what I will do is leave this on overnight. Anyways, I'll go over this again in the live later on, but thank you very much for joining me and seeing the actual process.